Yeshua said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die, and whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? This moment happens in the middle of grief, real grief, the kind that feels heavy and slow and confusing. Lazarus has died. Martha is hurting. Nothing about the situation looks hopeful. And when Yeshua arrives, he doesn't immediately fix the problem. He has a conversation first. He meets her in the middle of her sorrow before he changes anything. And what he says is one of those statements that feels both simple and impossible at the same time. He doesn't just talk about resurrection as a future event. He says, I am the resurrection and the life. Not, I will bring it someday. Not, I can do it if needed. He says he is. That shifts everything. Because suddenly, resurrection isn't just a moment on a timeline. It's a person. Life isn't just something we receive. It's someone we walk with. Most of us think of hope as something ahead of us, something we reach when circumstances finally change, when the problem is solved, when the diagnosis is reversed, when the situation improves. But here, standing in front of a tomb, Yeshua brings hope into the present. He places it right in front of Martha before anything around her looks different. That's hard for us to wrap our minds around. We want visible proof first. We want the stone moved before we trust the promise. But Yeshua asks her a question instead. He invites her into trust before the miracle. It's a lot like riding through a stretch of road where the path disappears around a bend. You can't see what's ahead. You only know the road continues because you've seen enough of it before. You trust the direction, not because you can see the destination, but because you trust the one leading the ride. And this is where this verse becomes deeply personal. Yeshua says that whoever believes in him will live, even though they die. And whoever lives and believes in him will never truly die. He's not denying physical death. Lazarus had died. He knew the pain of that reality. But he's redefining it. He's saying death is not the final word. That changes the way you look at everything. It changes how you see loss. It changes how you see fear. It changes how you see your own future. Because if life is rooted in him, then nothing can ultimately take it away. But what stands out is the tone of the moment. He isn't speaking to a crowd. He isn't delivering a sermon. He's talking to a friend. A woman who is grieving, confused, and probably exhausted. And he meets her right there. No lectures, no pressure, just truth spoken into the middle of tears. Sometimes that's what we need most. Not an explanation, not a timeline, just the reminder of who he is. There are seasons where parts of life feel buried. Dreams, relationships, direction, joy. Things that once felt alive now feel distant or gone. And we stand there wondering if anything can be restored. This conversation reminds us that hope doesn't begin when circumstances change. It begins when we remember who we are walking with or riding with. It's like reaching the end of a long work week. You're tired. You've poured out energy. Maybe some things went well, maybe some didn't. Maybe you feel accomplished, or maybe you feel behind. Either way, the road has been long, and sometimes Friday doesn't feel like victory. It just feels like relief. But this verse gently shifts the focus. The point isn't just making it to the end of the week. It's remembering that life isn't measured by productivity or outcomes. It's anchored in relationship, in presence, in the one who is life itself. So as the week wraps up and you start thinking about rest, maybe this is a good moment to pause and breathe. To remember that your value isn't tied to what you accomplished. Your future isn't defined by what didn't happen. Your hope isn't dependent on how the next season unfolds. Life is not a fragile thing you're trying to hold together. It's something you've been invited into. And the same one who stood outside that tomb, speaking calm truth into a moment of chaos, is still present in your ordinary, everyday moments. Walking, riding beside you, steady, unhurried. So you keep riding, not because you see every answer, but because you know the one who is life is already ahead of you on the road. Amen. Well, thank you for joining me here once again, my friends and family, for another work week as we look forward to a day of rest. Hope to see you here on Sunday. And until then, Abba willing, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.